All right, so here we are looking at Algebra 2. Let's see if we can get this written on here. Algebra 2, Chapter 1 through 3, Review, Part 4. Okay, again, I don't know how many parts we're splitting this up into, but we're just trying to do it in small chunks, just not to overwhelm you guys. All right, so we're saying graph the line, slope -1 through -6, 3. Let's just kind of sketch this. Let's take that one back. Let's make these lines a little bit better. Okay, so I got like a horizontal line and a vertical line, and we're going through -6, -3. So -6, -3 would be, we got to go all the way -6 over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then down 1, 2, 3. So there's the point that it goes through, but it says it has a slope -1, and that's really -1 over 1 because we got rise and run built into that number. And that slope -1 over 1 looks like it's going to go diagonally like this. So that's it. That's all you're looking for. You need to make sure that this has a ratio of 1 over 1. Here it's negative because it's got that downward slope, and it goes through that point at -6, -3. Okay, that was easy. Let's try this next one. It says find the intercepts of this and then graph the line. Okay, so intercepts, key thing when you start to see intercepts is you know half the information. For example, when I'm going to find the x-intercept, I know that the y value is already 0. I just don't know what the x value is, so I got to figure that out. And when I'm finding the y-intercept, I know that the x value is 0, and I just got to find whatever the other number is. All right, so let's think about this for a second. Let's say I were to just kind of make, which one do you want to find? How about the x-intercept? That means that I would cover up this y, because that's going to be 0, like that, and I'd have -5 times something equals -20, because if the y is 0, that makes that other term go away. Well, -5 times 4 would equal 20, so I'm going to say 4. Whoops, I need this to be in pencil here again. 4 would be that one. Okay, and then for the y-intercept, we got the same kind of idea going on. We're going to cover up the x because x is 0, and then -5y equals 20, so -5 times what equals 20, and that's actually the same answer. You know, it's not always like that, but it could happen. And so it's the same answer, 0, 4. But we do need to notice that the x-intercept and y-intercept, even though we have the same numbers, they're in slightly different locations. Let's go ahead and graph this just like a little sketch over here. Nothing huge. All right, so we got 4, 0, and 0, 4. So that means for 4, 0, the x-intercept is going to be out here, 4 units. And when we got 0, 4, that's going to go up 4 units, and I'll be like right there. And then graph the line. Hey, look at that. We got 2 points to graph the line. We just draw right through them. And that's it. Piece of cake. All right. Number 16. More graphing and solving and stuff. So let's see what we have to do. It says write it in slope-intercept form. Whenever you see slope-intercept form, you're really looking for y alone or y solo. Solve for y is what we need to do. So we're going to start out with 2x plus 5y equals 15. And then we got to get this y part by itself. So to do that, we got to get rid of the other stuff. So let's move the 2x over to the other side. I'm going to subtract 2x or add a -2x to both sides. This -2x and +2x, that makes a 0. And I'll have 5y equals, I'm going to flip-flop these and write -2x plus 15. The only reason I'm doing that is we're used to the coefficient with x as the first term and then the constant as the second term. All right, now I have this y. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to multiply both sides by 1/5 or divide by 5, same thing. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, which means I got to divide by 5 or multiply by 1/5 over here. So the 5 over 5 with the y, that makes 1. Over on the other side, I have y equals -2 over 5x, and then the 15 over 5 becomes a 3. Now again, they're asking us to graph it. So this second number is your y-intercept. So here's our kind of x and y axis, and our y-intercept is that second number. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. There's that number for the y-intercept. And then the slope here is a rise -2 and a run of 5. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, and then right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my point there. And that'd be at 1 or 5, comma 1. And then there's my line. That's what I'm looking for. And in this line, I'm trying to recognize that I have a rise of 2 and a run of 5. But it's really a -2 because we're going down 2. And then we got a +5 because we're going to the right 5. There's a line. All right, so we got 14, we got 15, we got 16 done. Let's look at 17. It says determine if y equals 3 is either vertical or horizontal. Now this one, it's some from memory, but here's how I think about it. Here's what I'm looking at. It says y equals 3. Okay, so I'm going to look at this x and y axis here. And I'm going to make some markings. You know, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's a little bit off. Let's try and keep it consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got all those things happening. And we're looking at vertical, horizontal. Y equals 3. Well, this is the y-axis. And 3 is right here. So if I were to draw a line that goes through that, it's actually got to go across this axis. So that means I have to go this way to go through that point. So first of all, I just did both things. First of all, I determined it was horizontal because it's got to go through that point. It doesn't make sense to go up and down if I got to cross that axis there. And then I graphed it. So that was it. What would have made it vertical? Well, if it was like x equals 1, then that would have been right here at x equals 1. It was not. It was y equals 3. And that's why it was going left and right. So if you got x equals a number, that would be vertical. All right, we got one more here for this video, and then we'll move on to something else. So number 18, it says write the equation of the graph line in slope-intercept form. That's easier than you would think, but we got to be careful here, make sure that we're hitting right on the points. So slope-intercept form, that means y equals something times x plus something. And this first piece here is going to be our slope. That's why we call it slope-intercept form. And the second piece is going to be the y-intercept, not just any intercept. All right, so the y-intercept looks like it's right there at +4. So that's my y-intercept. It's at 4. So I know I should be looking for y equals something times x plus 4. Now, here's one clue. It's going downhill, so this slope should be negative. It's a negative number. Not sure what yet, but let's see if we can figure it out. Looks like this is a point right there at 1, 1. Pretty sure it looks like it's touching right at 1, 1 on the line, which means that I would go down a distance from 4 to 1. How far is that? That's only 3. Some people will get confused and they'll count and they'll make that it's 4, but it's not. But it's 3, because if I go 4 down to 1, that distance is 3. All right, and then going left to right here, we have a distance of just 1, from 0 to 1. So the slope is 3 over 1. Now, in thinking about that, we have this negative. That's important. So it's going to be negative, and we got the 3, and we got this x. Now, on a multiple choice test, you would not normally see divided by 1 here. This divided by 1, you wouldn't normally see that. So I'm just going to leave it as -3x plus 4. There's my equation. Okay, so that's this video, part 4, and we'll be seeing you later in part 5. All right, thank you.